Okay, so today we're learning different ways to solve quadratic equations, okay? Now, here's what I want you guys to do. If you're good at doing the math in your head, great. If not, go ahead and grab a calculator out real quick, okay? Now, if I'm trying to figure out x squared equals 25, I'm trying to figure out what number, right, times itself twice is 25. Does that make sense? Okay. So, does anyone think they know an answer for this? 5 times 5, okay. 5 times 5 is 25. So I totally agree x is 5, okay? But if you typed in the square root of 25 on your calculators, it's going to tell you 5, right? The thing is we have to sometimes be smarter than our calculators because our calculators don't have brains, but we do, right? Okay, I want you to type in your calculator -5 times -5. Do we still get positive 25? Yeah. So the calculator's never going to tell you two answers when I do a square root. The issue is that a square root does have two answers, okay? Because when I square root this, I'm looking for what number times itself twice to get to that 25, okay? But it has two answers, but my calculator's never going to tell me that. Does that make sense? You with me? So you have to remember that, and the reason why the negative is always an answer is what does two negatives make, guys? A positive, right? So when I'm square rooting a positive number, then I'm always going to have a positive and a negative answer, okay? You with me? Okay, so now let's try this one. This one, when I put it into my calculator, it's not even going to give me a nice answer, right? Does it give you a bunch of decimals? Well, good thing Miss Summers has taught you how to deal with that. Factor trees, right? So if I simplify this, can anyone tell me something that goes into the 28? Anyone? Bueller? What goes into 28? Good. Must have 4 times 7. 7's done, so then I can go to 2 and 2, right? So x equals 2, the pair comes outside, square root 7, right? But guess what? X also equals -2 square root 7. Because anytime I take a square root, both the positive and negative are answers because if I'm looking for the same thing times itself twice, a negative has to be an option. Does that make sense? This one, you have to be smarter than your calculator completely because for most of you, if you type in the square root of -9, it's probably going to give you an error. But again, good thing you have Miss Summers as your math teacher because she taught you how to deal with square roots of negative numbers. And you're not going to break my heart and you're going to remember square root of a negative number? Imaginary, I have to use an I. So what is the square root of 9? 3. So x on this one is 3i and -3i. Can someone raise their hand and explain back to the class why do we have both the plus and the minus when you square root? Why is it needed to have both the plus and the minus when you square root? Can someone raise their hand and explain that back to the class? So only one's negative? What do you mean?
So that answer is not positive.
Okay, but on this one, we wanted the answer to be positive, right?
Because if it's negative and it's two negatives, it still be positive.
There we go. Good, Aaron. Thank you.
That's a really good point.
So it they either have to both be positive or both be negative, right? But because two negatives still make a positive, that's still one of my square roots. You with me? Okay, good. I want you to, okay, hold on a second.